They're doing great work in the state of North Dakota. You look at a map of North Dakota and you see all the dots, all of the cities that have been positively impacted. It's great work. It's great work, and I appreciate them much.
The mission of the North Dakota Community Foundation is to improve the quality of life for North Dakota citizens by promoting philanthropy and charitable giving. It is really the people of North Dakota's foundation. Our main business is the management of charitable endowment funds for all across the state of North Dakota. Prior to the incorporation of the North Dakota Community Foundation, most community foundations were local. When the North Dakota Community Foundation was incorporated in 1976, it really came out of a statewide meeting of bankers in North Dakota, under which you could have a statewide community foundation and have local community foundations work under that umbrella, so that you could give on the local level and yet get the economies of scale and the efficiency of a statewide organization, and yet have the enthusiasm that's generated by giving to a local foundation. And so the North Dakota Community Foundation was the first community foundation in the country to have local affiliate community foundations, and that structure has been replicated in all kinds of western rural states, including Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, and places like that.
Today, the North Dakota Community Foundation manages more than 750 charitable funds and over 150 student scholarships. This translates to over $100 million in assets and over $80 million in grants awarded across the state of North Dakota. Our signature program, Community Endowment Funds, has now grown to over 65 communities in the state.
The North Dakota Community Foundation has made literally thousands of grants all across the state of North Dakota. It's easy to talk about those large projects. The Community Center in Pembina, for example, which now has a gathering space for people to have events and celebrations and community meetings. Or in Arthur, North Dakota, just north of there, Northern Cass School, the addition of the new gymnasium and also extra classroom space. But projects don't have to be that large to have a profound impact in their community. Things like purchasing defibrillators for the local swimming pool that may save someone's life. These are the types of projects that significantly improve the quality of life for residents living in those communities.
I believe that the North Dakota Community Foundation has improved the quality of life of the citizens in this town. The city of New Salem doesn't have a ton of money to put into their parks and rec, and so having this money, it's been a huge benefit to us. We've seen a huge difference. In fact, when the first round of grant money came out, within a week, you started seeing they were building at the golf course and they were making improvements at the rodeo arena. And it was just fun to see that everywhere you looked, it was like all of a sudden people were busy getting projects done that they had been waiting to have done, but they didn't have the money to do them. I think the North Dakota Community Foundation has been a positive for the New Salem area. It has given us an avenue to make all the improvements that we wanted into our community.
The North Dakota Community Foundation means longevity and support to Carrington. We've got professionals who look out for the funds that we've entrusted to them. People make a donation to the fund and it multiplies over and over again. That money goes back into the community. It helps provide more services that we need. It's a generational thing. As you drive into town, the Carrington City Park has new playground equipment. PUTNAM House has many art events that we wouldn't have the opportunity to have if the endowment fund weren't here for us. Our fire department has purchased life-saving equipment. Carrington Youth Center has been a huge recipient of funds. The North Dakota Community Foundation has made a huge impact in the city of Carrington.
But what about communities that don't have their own endowment fund? Our statewide Greatest Needs Fund provides grants to projects and programs all across North Dakota.
We have a statewide Greatest Needs Fund where each year we take applications from nonprofits and organizations all across North Dakota. They tell us what's most important to them in their community, whatever project they're working on, and then the board of the North Dakota Community Foundations decides what's the best use of our statewide Greatest Needs money, where can our grant make the biggest difference in those local communities.
In addition to supporting communities all across North Dakota, we also manage funds for schools, charities, and nonprofit organizations in the state, including parks and recreation departments, the Farm Rescue Foundation, scholarships, libraries, and disaster-related support funds.
One of the times that was very traumatic, but in where we were most useful to the citizens of North Dakota was in the flood of 1997, when the governor's office called and asked us to manage the private charitable donations to support those affected by the flood of 1997. We raised over $23 million in just a few months, and at that time we had a staff of 2, but we had literally hundreds of volunteers that helped us in that effort.
When a community makes the decision to become a part of the North Dakota Community Foundation family, it is so much fun to watch these communities from day one until they progress into a granting fund. It is just amazing to see what happens in that community and the projects that they start to tackle and the challenges that they start to meet from their community.
All of this would not be possible without the North Dakota Community Foundation and donations given from North Dakota philanthropists and organizations.
We wanted to make some serious charitable contributions, but yet we didn't know where we wanted the money to go. And the donor advised fund at the North Dakota Community Foundation really fit what we wanted to do. And they're very easy to work with, and we've really enjoyed the relationship over the last 15 years or so with them. Our community, especially the Main Street, is much better because of the Community Foundation. We have amenities that generally little towns don't have, and it's because of the contributions that some folks have made through the Community Foundation.
It is a misconception that you need to have millions of dollars to start a community endowment fund. As a matter of fact, most of the communities that have started through the North Dakota Community Foundation started with little or no money whatsoever. And we have been there with them step by step to help them grow their endowment fund and to help them build this resource for their future.
All of our over 750 funds are managed carefully by staff and governed by a board of directors from all across the state.
Each individual community doesn't have the resources to do stuff like this on their own. They don't have people on staff, and so to have somebody to go to is very important.
By managing the financial responsibilities of charitable funds, we allow communities and individuals to focus on their commitment and passion to make North Dakota a better place to live. The North Dakota Community Foundation follows Theodore Roosevelt's words, to do what you can with what you have, where you are, as we strengthen and bring together people and organizations that want to build a brighter future for North Dakota.
In this job, you get the chance to work with just wonderful, wonderful local people that believe in the future of North Dakota, that believe in the future of their local community, and are willing to put the time and effort in to make it a better place.